The champagne glass slipped from Victor's hand, my daughter's father-in-law, as he collapsed to the floor. Jessica's mother, Helen, was convulsing on my marble kitchen floor, foam gathering at the corner of her mouth. All I could see was Ethan's eyes, not worried about his father, but at the glass. And all I could think was, well, that might not have happened to Victor, and that might have been me. Before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and tell us where you're listening from in the comments. The clubhouse at the end of the cul-de-sac glowed warm. Inside, clinking glassware, fresh suits, the smell of polished wood. People congratulated me for closing the books on 40 years of work, for selling the construction company at a price that made others murmur. I smiled, shook hands, heard the lines people say to men at this age. My mouth smiled. My head didn't. In the corner sat the bubbly bar. 12 flutes, and exactly one had a small chip on the rim. The same flute I tend to pick for fun, out of habit. Evan, my son-in-law, stood off to the side, hands in pockets, eyes skimming the champagne more than they skimmed me. Victor Hart, Evan's father, slapped my shoulder, voice booming. "Your day, Frank. Raise a glass." He's always loud in the way men get when winning is a long habit. I was mid-story with my old foreman when I saw Jessica. No, not her. Different story. I saw Marla, the club receptionist, set down a fresh tray. And I saw what I needed to see. Evan's look first, then his hand. He stood half-shielded, back to the room, and slipped a tiny vial from his pocket. The cap clicked. A clear liquid tipped from the mouth of the vial into the flute with the chip. He glanced around. I checked my watch. The second hand stepped one mark. A lifetime taught me, sometimes don't make a scene. Sometimes you let the mouse think the trap is clean. I kept nodding, kept listening to lumber prices, then turned as if for a napkin. Evan carried 2 glasses toward me, face full of practiced concern. "You look a little tired, Dad. Sip this." I took it. "Thanks." I didn't drink. I pulled out my phone like I was checking the time. Evan drifted to a window group, shoulders loosening half a notch. That's when I looped past Harold. "Like some bubbly, Victor?" I asked, social voice. "Always," he grinned, big hand taking the glass I offered without looking close. I held on to his, swapped the 2 in a motion small enough not to register. I set Victor's glass back on the table, then poured myself a fresh one from a newly opened bottle. Green apple on the nose, tight bubbles. None of that metallic bite I sniff when I need to stay sharp. 5 minutes later, Victor's face pinched. 10 minutes later, he braced on the table edge. His features dropped as if the power cut. The flute fell and tinkled. A shout. Someone dialed emergency. I set my glass down, stepped in, knelt at his side. His hand trembled. White foam feathered one corner of his mouth. "Easy, Victor. Breathe slow." I pitched it just loud enough for a few nearby to hear I was helping. Ethan sprinted for the door, yelling for someone to open the gate. Guest murmured. I heard cardiac, his age. I didn't answer anyone. I looked at Evan's face, the mouth working to look calm, the eyes flicking toward the bar. I filed that line away. Medics arrived fast. They loaded Victor. I touched my daughter Lily's shoulder and told her to ride along and handle family contacts. I stayed one beat and told the club manager, "Don't touch that table. Leave it." Evan stood opposite, silent. I looked straight at him. "You should go with your father." I will," he stammered, then glanced back at the bubbly, as if magnet pulled. He wanted to tidy what he'd done. I lifted a hand. "Don't touch it. They need to see it." He swallowed. I said nothing more. The ambulance took him to the hospital, white hospital light. I stood in the corridor, hands in pockets, listening to rubber soles and disinfectant. The doctor, "Acute poisoning, source unknown. We're monitoring, no visitors yet. Family can wait." I nodded. Lily sat on a plastic chair, hands shaking, looking at me. "Dad, who do you think—" "Don't ask now." I put a hand on her shoulder. "When there's paper, we'll talk." Evan leaned against the wall, head down, thumb worrying his phone screen without calling anyone. Then he bent to Lily's ear. Fast, low, tight. Enough for me to know they were wondering what I'd seen. I didn't need them to know what I'd seen. Not yet. Ethan came over. Come to our place tonight. You shouldn't be alone. No need. My house has cameras, I said. I can stay here if I have to. Hospitals cost, Ethan muttered, eyeing the posted rates. Dad will probably be here a few days. I trust they'll follow procedure, I said. Check the insurance in the morning. I headed for the lot, thin snow, thin. My reflection in the glass door looked older than I felt. I started the car, left the radio low as breathing. My fingers tapped the wheel. I repeated 3 marks in my head. 1810, 1822, 1828. Enough. At home, I didn't turn on every light. The prep kitchen still smelled of cooled butter. I washed my hands. In the hall, the chipped glass waited where it always had, in silence. I pulled on gloves, lifted it. Under the desk lamp, a faint lipstick streak showed on the chip. I dotted a tiny mark under the foot, out of sight. A clean zip bag lay in the drawer. I slid the glass in, pressed the seal, one dry click. I opened the computer, made a plain folder, saved 3 images, Evan at the bubbly table, a cocktail napkin next to the chipped flute, the hallway camera frame catching movement at the bar. I drafted a short note file, the 911 incident number, the EMT's name, time the rig left. My phone buzzed. Lily. Dad, doctor says stable for now. I'm taking Ethan home. Are you back? I am, I typed. Sleep. We'll talk tomorrow. Ethan called right after. I let it ring twice. Dad, things like this. I mean, you're 70. You should be somewhere with people around. I found a great place. Golf, on-site doctors, 400 grand buy-in, but peace of mind. Tomorrow, I said. Tonight, I need quiet. I hung up, went to the file cabinet, turned the key. The zip bag with the glass slid into the second drawer. I taped a slip with the seal time across the edge. Closed, locked. I sat at the desk, set the pen on the notebook, wrote 1 line. Retirement party, chipped glass, small vial. Robert went down, lawyer at 9 a.m. The calendar widget pulsed. 9:80, attorney. I shut the notebook, killed the kitchen light. At the threshold, I paused, looking over the empty room. The leather chair still held a shallow crease from a body gone. Outside, a clean sift of snow softened the walk. A chipped rim is enough to remember who meant me to drink what. I left the party in silence and let the paperwork come after. Morning after the party, the house breathed slow. I brewed a strong coffee, clicked on the amber desk lamp, pulled the oak chair tight to the desk. No overthinking. Paper first, words later. I plugged in a USB drive and pulled the hallway cam footage of the bubbly table. First try. Insufficient space. I deleted old clips, tried again, watched the progress bar crawl. Done. I entered 1 line in the notebook. Export time, performed by me. Then I called the police to file a suspected poisoning incident that occurred at the club. Hold music looped. Please stay on the line. When a dispatcher picked up, I told only what I saw with my eyes. No speculation. They opened a file, read me the report number and time. I repeated both back and underlined them. I stuck a small note on the folder. Public silence. Work only through paperwork. I made a clean list. Liquid assets, accounts to lock down, people who could be allies or witnesses. 1 line in red pencil, double underlined. Do not sign any financial POA without counsel present. At 9:30, I reached the 12th floor where Alan Pierce, a state attorney, keeps his office. Elevator down for maintenance. I took the stairs. At reception, a woman asked for the appointment, an ID and signatures on engagement forms. I complied, initialing each page. Alan came out, compact frame, no chit-chat. You want to lock the worst-case plays first, right, Henry? I want procedure ahead of emotion. He nodded and drew 3 arrows. 1. Capacity evaluation today to baseline against any guardianship games. 2. Move assets into a conditional trust with a stated charitable diversion if coercion is detected. 3. A paper decoy. Prepare a POA that looks legitimate but only controls a bait account with trivial funds. I need the capacity eval ASAP. No, no. Today at 3:30, Alan said, dialing. Geriatric specialist, standard battery, written report. I'll have my paralegal scan your civilian evidence, the chipped glass, the video, all logged with a receipt. I opened my bag and handed the paralegal the photo of the chipped flute sealed in a clear bag, the bar top stills, and a copy of the camera clip. The chain of custody slip captured time, recipient, and condition. I signed, they signed. Done. By noon, the security techs knocked. 3 of them, coats beaded with sleet. They mounted a wide angle in the prep kitchen facing the living room, set a motion sensor near the bar, and fixed a panic button in the hall. I required admin rights to a single account in my name and changed the password on the spot. The router blinked, dropped, came back. They configured auto backup to an external drive locked in my file cabinet. I photographed device placement and serial numbers and filed them. The service contract promises sub 3-minute response. I had them add install date, time, installer names, and a test clip. Afterward, I sealed the evidence cabinet and signed across the tamper tape. Early afternoon, I met Ethan and Lily at a riverside diner. Cold glass fogged with breath. The table next to us nodded hello. Ethan opened fast. Dad, last night got me thinking. At 70, safety is key. Lily and I found a great place, a retirement community. Doctors, activities, people around. 400,000 buy-in, but you'll want for nothing. Lily held her husband's hand, voice small. We just want you to feel at ease. Ethan slid a packet from his briefcase. And a financial power of attorney, convenience, just to let me handle the complex stuff if anything happens. I turned my water glass once and let a beat pass. My safety is procedure, not someone else's benevolence, I said softly. I'll take it home, read it, and respond. Ethan's smile tightened. Take your time, but they'll hold the unit if we move quickly. I understand. When Lily looked down to text, a doctor's name flashed on Ethan's lock screen. He blanked it quickly. I didn't ask. I raised my phone and snapped a neat photo of the expanded terms page. Tight angle, not obvious. Leaving the diner, I texted Alan. Need a look-alike POA that only controls a bait account. Prepare immediately. Back home, I put Ethan's packet on the scanner. Paper jam midway. I lifted the lid, freed the crimp, wiped the edge, ran it again. I emailed the scan to Alan with notes on suspect clauses. On my desk, I built a slim Day Zero folder, police report number, this afternoon's capacity eval slot, photos of the morning install, account lists, in the draft for the new trust per council. I signed an authorization empowering the firm to coordinate tox testing on the half-empty bottle. Alan replied, prelim in 48 hours, full signed expert report to follow. The UPS chirped once during a power blink. I signed in the wrong spot on one form, reprinted, re-signed, no hurry, no sighing, always a spare. Doorbell. On the stoop stood Marla Ward, clutching a canvas tote, coat wet with sleet, face pale. I'm sorry to come unannounced, she said as I let her in. Last night, I couldn't sleep. I poured hot water and set a tissue box down. How is Victor, Henry? He's awake, under observation. I need to tell you about last night. She set the tote down, fingers woven tight. Before it happened, I saw Ethan at the bar, right before the toast. The room went still. I straightened. The rollerball pen already lay on the open pad. Tell me exactly what you saw and when. Only what you saw. Nothing added. Nothing withheld. Marla swallowed, then nodded. I'm willing to write it and to say it in front of anyone. I opened the Dayer file, flipped to a clean page, and set my pen at the top margin. On the folder's edge, a red pencil line already underlined a rule. No POA signatures without counsel. At the cabinet corner, my fingertip touched the seal. Still cold. Still firm. Good, I said. We start with the time you entered the room, then where you were in relation to the bar, then the last thing you said to Victor before he lifted the glass. I checked my watch. Still time to make the afternoon capacity exam. The paperwork sat square. Anyone planning to lock my life with a signature will meet something else. Process. A POA is a lock. I'll hand them a fake key. Sleet ticked the eaves. Inside, the pen made even sounds. Marla spoke. I wrote. From here on, we play by the book. The station lobby smells like floor cleaner and old coffee. I take a number, wait, listen to the speaker crackle. At the window, the clerk asks why I'm here. I set down a slim envelope. 4 stills from last night, including Ethan hovering by the bubbly, a 1-page memo, time, position, names present. I speak slowly. Only what I saw. No guesses. You're reporting a suspected poisoning tied to the event? She repeats to confirm. I want a case opened, a number, an assigned investigator, and I have a witness you should call. An inner door opens. A detective steps out. Lauren Kim. Cool, firm handshake. She slides over a 2-page form and taps the boxes people mischeck. I fill it, list the sealed items, add Marla's name and number, the bar staffer on duty. When I mention the club's cameras, she says, neat and short, send a preservation letter now. With written acknowledgement, we can force them to hold everything. I'll send it today. Lauren clips the photos into the jacket, types, then tears off a small slip and pushes it to me. Your case number. Will contact your witness. The number sits dry and clear in my palm. Not a feeling, a record. Back at Alan's office, wood glow, cool embossers. He's waiting. I set the case number on his desk. Good, he says. Now we build the legal fence. We tick through yesterday's moves, then he drafts a preservation demand for all video. 6 hours before and after, with date, window, location, camera zones. He adds a clean stopper line. Preserve all video data, no overwrite, no deletion, until further written notice. I also want the guardianship lane blocked, I say. Covered. He pulls another sheet, a medical direction letter, who may speak for me, who may not. And we keep the capacity exam on the calendar. That report lives in the file. The printer coughs and jams. The paralegal lifts the lid, frees the page, feeds again. I sign each sheet, shoulder aching once, roll the joint, sign the rest. Near noon, I leave with a stamp stack and head home. Desk clear, blue binder centered. I name files plainly. Photo 01, Photo 02, hallway video, camera preservation letter. Export read-only PDFs, attach, email the club manager, CC counsel. First subject line bounces. I'd shorten the legal entity. I fix it and resend. Done. Then I call Patricia Wynn, the PI Alan flagged. I need a financial picture on Ethan and Lily, I say. Mortgage, cards, cash flow, doctor payments, especially any odd transactions in the last 90 days. I'm on it. 48 hours. I'll send an acknowledgement today. The storm jitters the line. I wait for sent, screenshot the receipt, log the time. A dry ding. Away it goes. Afternoon, I carry the blue binder to the Division Street mail counter. Warm inside, the bell tings for each customer. I address 3 envelopes, to Ethan, to Lily, to the club manager. All certified, signature required. The clerk, Gus, studies my label. You're missing the club's full legal name. They won't accept a short form. Read me the exact line. I'll correct it. He slides over a tethered blue pen. I correct, add the green card, stick the tracking labels, photograph each card face. The line curls past a rack of glossy greeting cards. I wait until the timestamp prints on the receipts. These will leave town today, Gus says, nodding like an unofficial seal. 3 receipts right in my chest pocket, making a small ridge. Corner cafe, fresh roast in the air, paper lids click soft. Marla arrives late, scarf high, eyes scanning for anyone she knows. I don't want trouble at work, she says small. I don't need guesses. Just what you saw and when, where you were relative to the bar, exact phrases you heard. You can say no if anyone pushes past that. I slide over a plain 2-page witness form. Handwrite it tonight, snap a photo to me, keep the original. Later you'll just read exactly what you wrote. She nods. The worry eases a notch. Her phone buzzes. Unknown number. She silences it, exhales. I'll write it tonight. Should I use my real name? Use your real name. We're not hiding. I pay, Stan, and my phone buzzes again. New email. Subject line clear. Received. Video will be preserved for 7 days pending order. Inside. Acknowledgement, signer's name, time received. I screenshot it, drop it in evidence, add 1 line to the notebook. News? Marla asks. They confirm the hold, I say. You write what you saw. The rest runs by procedure. She pulls her scarf higher, as if to cover what's left of the worry. Okay. Outside sleet turns to mist. Coats beat and drip. At home, I set the binder on the desk and open the table of contents. Case number, preservation letter, 3 certified mail receipts, witness name, and a new pencil line. Dinner at Victor's. Victor's text arrives at dusk. Family dinner tomorrow. Come talk. Then Lily's. 7 p.m. tomorrow. Don't make a scene. I look at the green cards clipped under the tab, at the pen with a cracked cap. Feelings don't live in the record, I read to myself. Times and signatures do. I close the book. One evening to tighten a 1-page brief, 12 copies. Tomorrow I'll speak for 90 seconds. The rest, the papers will say. I show up at Alan's office 10 minutes early. Small oak conference room, glass fogged from the cold. On the table, a 1-page script and a palm-sized timer. Alan slides the page to me. Read it out loud, he says even. 90 seconds, not 1 word over. I stand straight and read at normal pace. The printer behind me clears its throat now and then. At I won't name anyone, Alan lifts a hand. Drop 3 filler words up top, he says, pencil sketching a line. Add 1 scope line, case number, timestamps, filings made, and the current video preserved status. No motives, no theories. They'll try to drag you into feelings. You don't go. I nod. My left shoulder twinges when I sign the truth attestation. We run it once more. The timer stops at 88. Alan's smile is thin. Good, he says, tucking the page into a clip. Print 6, 1 for Victor, 1 for Ethan, 1 for Lily, 2 for Victor's people, 1 for you. And this USB, read-only. I loaded the PDF plus 3 stills and the club's video hold confirmation. Red seal for you. The little black USB blinks. It won't speak, but it's my voice tonight. Alan hands over 1 more thin sheet. A correction slip. If someone misquotes you online, send this and ask for a fix. 1 sentence. No arguing. The printer jams again. The assistant frees the page, resets the stack. Sorry, he says. Alan just nods. Minutes later, 6 crisp summaries land. I stack and staple them, label each top right corner with the recipient's name. Rules for tonight? Alan asked, tapping a light rhythm. No live streaming, 3 minutes each. I open with 90 seconds. No interruptions, I say. I'll ask the host to say it. Right, he says. Hand Victor his envelope before people sit. Outside, the wind cuts. I zip my coat and swing by the cafe. Marla is a few minutes late, snow salt on her scarf, eyes scanning for a familiar face. I stand, greet her, pull a chair. I only have a minute, she says small. The boss called last night. Told us not to get involved if anyone asks. I'm not asking you to get involved, I say low. Just this. What you saw with your eyes. Where you stood. When. That's it. No guesses. I open the summary and show 3 stills. The bar, the flute with the tiny chip on the rim, a half-block figure with a small bottle in hand. Marla bites her lip. I'll email a statement, she says, taking out her phone. Subject line? Try. Statement, River Ridge. Bartender observes small bottle near chipped flute with the exact time. She types, fingers shivering from the cold. Sent. The timestamp is clean. If you need me to read it tonight, I'll read it word for word, she says. I don't want to lose my job. I understand, I say. You don't need to show up tonight. Your name stays off until the detective calls. If it must go public later, we'll do it with counsel present. Arita barista passes and reminds us, no recording in the shop. I raise empty hands and smile. We're not recording. Marla stands, fixes her scarf, looks at me once more. Be careful, she says. I don't know why family would do this. I don't guess, I say. I let numbers and paper talk. Back home, I handwrite a 4-line card for Victor. Your host, please keep the room fair. No live streaming. 3 minutes each. I'll open for 90 seconds. I label the gray folders. Victor Hart, Ethan Hart, Lily Dalton Hart, Paula, Raymond. I load them into a tote with the read-only USB, the timer, and a small wicker basket big enough for a dozen phones. As I fold the tote, my phone buzzes. Ethan. Come a little early. Smooth it out between us. No need to make it a thing. I send one line back. I'll speak in front of everyone. 90 seconds. A minute later, Lily. He just wants it less awkward. See you tonight. Soft words trailing ellipsis. I don't reply. Another alert. An anonymous neighbor group post about a noisy retirement party. Fuzzy photo attached. I screenshot and file it. No comment. I leave at dusk. Old snow rims the curb. The streetlights lay a warm wash over Victor's hill. The door opens. Heat, roast beef, Dijon. Aunt Paula meets me in the hall, points to a chair at the far end, half smiles. You can take that one. I nod but don't sit. I walk my tote to Victor at the open kitchen and speak low. For you, please read before we sit. I hand over the envelope marked Host Only. He tears the edge and skims the page fast. He stops at case number, then at video hold confirmed. His mouth tightens for a beat, then loosens. I'm running the room tonight, he says out loud. No phones at the table. Drop them in the basket. He carries the wicker down the length of the table and sets it where all can see. A few wide eyes, Raymond laughs. Nothing on mine worth filming, and drops it in anyway. Lily steps up, removes her case first, then sets the phone in, as if buying a breath. Ethan holds his longer than anyone. His camera app is open. He locks it, glances at me, and drops it in. No one raises a voice, but the air shifts. I pull the 5 gray folders and lay them in front of each person. Each folder taps the wood with a dry knock. Lily sees her name. Her hand stops mid-napkin. She dips her face. The linen covers one corner like she means to hide it. Ethan looks up. Henry, he says, trying for calm. Tonight is family. We can eat first and talk about... He lifts his glass to seize the beat, but Victor taps a spoon on crystal. The tone slices the room. In order, Victor says. Before the main course, Henry has something to say. No interruptions. Then 3 minutes each. No names. Principles and numbers. This is my house. I'll keep it fair. Ethan presses his lips. Raymond clears his throat, unhappy, but lets it go. I set the timer on the table. The metal winks under the pendants. I place the red-sealed USB beside it. Paula leans and spots a phone face down outside the basket, camera still waiting for a tap. She palming it shut, drops it in. Rules are rules, she says loud enough. I stand, hands on the chair back for a breath. then turn to the table. I'm not asking you to believe me, I say, slow. I'm asking you to read. I make one clean pass around the table and stop for a beat on Lily. She looks away, presses the napkin edge. I touch the USB with a fingertip to cue myself. Case number, times, filings, witness, no motives. Wait, Ethan says, voice rising, but Victor's already shaking his head. No interrupting, he repeats. I press the timer. Red digits wake. 90 seconds start to spill. First, I say, I won't name anyone. I'll read numbers and times. Last night's incident is reported. The case number sits at the top of your page. The club has confirmed a video hold for the requested window. 3 certified letters have returned receipts. One witness emailed a statement seeing a small bottle near a chipped flute. Tonight, I'm asking you to read paper, not feelings. Who are you implying? Paula frowns. Victor lifts a hand. Let Henry finish, he says. I go on, tone unchanged. If anything about me goes online that doesn't match this page, I'll send a one-line correction request. I'm not suing anyone in this room. I want the fairest thing possible. No names, one simple ask. Let rules, timestamps, and signatures say the rest. I leave a beat for it to settle. The floor register breathes. Ethan's mouth twitches toward a laugh, but his eyes don't. I catch his wrist twitch. The reach for his phone. The basket is inches away. I point briefly at the top lines. Case number, here. Date and time, here. Video hold, here. Certified tracking, here. This USB has the same PDF and stills. I won't argue by volume. If you've got something to say, take your 3 minutes. The timer shows a little over 10 seconds. I close with one short line. 3 minutes each, 90 seconds for the facts. Phones down, papers up. My thumb finds stop. Right then the doorbell rings. A single clean chime, slicing the thread in the dining room. Heads turn. Victor leaves his chair and walks to the foyer. The door opens, cold air slides in and dries the roast scent. A woman's voice clear. Detective Kim, we need 5 minutes. There's an update on the champagne. Paper crackles, an envelope being raised. Victor stands between the door and the room, turns back. His eyes meet mine for 1 second, asking permission. I nod, small. No one starts eating. Raymond sighs and rubs his forehead. Paula pulls herself in, muttering some family dinner, but stays put. Lily grips the table. Her knuckles blanch, eyes blinking quick. Ethan leans like he'll rise, then sits and stares at the red-sealed USB as if it's about to blow. I don't add a word. I let the timer tick one more beat, press stop, and set it by the USB. I look around. This is no longer about me and a son-in-law. It's a room tilting. The host accepted rules. The phones are in a basket. The papers are in their hands. And at the door, someone is carrying lab words. Victor closes the door to a shoulder's width and turns in. They need us now, he says. 5 minutes. He lays a hand flat on the table and looks at each of us like a teacher before a test. I pull my chair in and sit, palms on the warm wood. My chest isn't heavy. My heart isn't fast. I've said my piece. From here, the paper speaks. And if anyone still wants to play it with their mouth, the next knock will be the measure of time and ink. Victor opens the door wide. A vein of cold air runs through the foyer. The woman in the black coat shows a badge. Kim, detective. He tilts aside and to the dining room says loud enough for the whole table. 5 minutes for the detective, then Henry, 90 seconds, no interruptions. Aunt Paula mutters, you got a warrant? Dado, Kim answers cleanly. I'm not arresting anyone. I'll read what I'm authorized to read. If the host permits, I enter. Victor nods. Please. The phone basket sits center table. A few handsets buzz against each other like trapped insects. Ethan half rises, fingers graze the wicker, eyes flicker. Victor points at the basket, voice flat. Phones stay down. Ethan releases his. Glass taps cane. A dull clack. Lily laces her fingers, thumb whirring the napkin's edge into a wrinkle. Roast beef and Dijon thread through the hiss of the floor vent. Deet. Kim takes the head of the table, opens a brown envelope, and draws a stamped sheet. The room holds its breath for the sound of paper. Preliminary talks report. The opened champagne from River Ridge last night tested positive for oleander. The chipped flute recovered at scene shows consistent trace. The person who ingested a sufficient amount and reacted is Mr. Victor Hart. He is currently stable. We're gathering witness statements in video. This is not a final conclusion. I will stay within that scope. A small intake from Paula. Raymond exhales like a hiss. Victor says nothing. His jaw sets, then loosens. He looks at Ethan. Ethan tries on a smile. Maybe it's a medication interaction. Dad's not pharmaceutical, Kim says, head barely shaking. Oleander is a plant toxin. The lab will speak to the rest. I'm done. I take one long breath, stand, and set the small timer in the middle. The pendants throw a clean sheen across the metal. I tap the red-sealed USB like checking a pulse. Victor gives a spoon a single ting against glass. Henry speaks. No cutting in. I press start. Red digits jump. Tonight I name no one. I begin level. I'm reading numbers and marks. Case NS23-1184 open this morning. Party bottle sample tag RRCC27. Oleander positive. 1942. Kitchen camera records a small bottle handled near the chipped flute. 1958. The flute's position changes. 20:05. Victor raises the glass. 21:12. EMS arrives at my house. The club has confirmed a 30-day video hold. 3 certified mailings went out, tracking attached. A night shift witness emailed at 23:37 describing what they saw, without conclusions. Ethan pops. You're implying. No interruptions. Victor taps again. The second ting lands cold. I won't argue feelings, I continue, pace unchanged. My proposals from here. No live streams, no elder guardianship storyline. Let paper and agencies work. Here are 6 packets, stills, time marks, tracking numbers, and the video hold confirmation. I pass gray folders. Each has a clipped Pilot G2. Please sign received at the corner, I say. Pens rasp softly. Victor signs first. V. Hart. Neat. Raymond signs with a slight tremor. Paula signs, lips pressed. Lily holds the pen longest. The tip touches down, pauses, then pulls a thin, slanted name. Ethan grips like a dull knife, slashes a line, drops into his chair. The timer chirps a warning. I thumb it quiet and finish with one line. 2 fathers keep the room. The truth keeps the rest. Stop. Clean 90. The vent fills the quiet again. Kim nods to me, then taps speaker on her duty phone. Marla Reyes. A young woman's voice comes through, a little tinny, words intact. Marla, bartender on that shift. 1940-something. I saw someone place a small bottle near a flute with a chip at the rim. The flute set by a cocktail napkin. I don't know what was inside. I'm only saying what I saw. One of the hearts rises. Reyes who? Say your full... Victor looks up. In my house, we don't abuse a witness. Ethan snorts. A server doesn't... Kim cuts in. I've taken her statement. She's cooperating. Any intimidation of a witness will be documented. Silence. I slide the sealed USB toward Victor. Identical PDF on here, read only. Detective may take a copy. Kim opens the brown envelope. I slide the USB in, red seal intact. She writes the case number across the flap, signs once, and sets it like a stamp in the center of the room. Ethan shoves back his chair, palms flat on wood. Fine, he says, voice thinning with control. My turn. My wife and I have taken care of him. Victor raises a hand, trims him. 3 minutes. In my house, everyone gets 3. Ethan huffs a laugh, inhales, starts. He's 70, alone. His mind has been... Pause. I open a slim envelope, slide a single page in front of him. Correction notice. If anyone publicly attaches incapacitated to me tonight, that party has 48 hours to correct or produce medical proof. Signature line below. If not, counsel and authorities receive it next. Lily flinches. Her eyes bounce between me and Ethan. Tears gather. She swallows them and says nothing. Ethan draws air through his teeth. You threatening my wife? I'm protecting my name, I say quietly. And two fathers. Ethan pivots. Then let's talk the retirement home. You agreed to Sunset Manor. I pull a second envelope, slide it across. The POA you wanted me to sign. This one. I flip a tab to reveal a decoy power of attorney. It controls one bait account with exactly $1. All assets are in trust. You touch none of it. We will not discuss moving me anywhere before this investigation closes. Tonight is about the fair thing. Paula exhales like someone dimmed the chandelier. Raymond leans back, folds his arms, looks at Ethan with disappointment more than anger. Lily sets a hand on her husband's forearm to bring him down. He jerks free, stands there pale. Kim reminds the room, this isn't a trial. We'll keep collecting. In the morning, some of you will be invited to sign statements. Anyone needing to correct something has 48 hours from now. The phone basket buzzes again, a neighborhood chat lighting up. Victor looks at the basket, then the table, voice lower. As host and as a father, no one here is judged tonight, but from now on, every claim comes with paper. No insinuations, no stories, no tossing confused at an elder because it's handy. If you need to raise your voice, use the hall. Ethan's breath shortens. Dad, you trust him over me? Victor meets his son's eyes. I trust timestamps, signatures, and a man who kept this room calm while you tried to make it loud. He turns to me. Henry, thank you for bringing paper. I accept. Lily speaks so soft it barely crosses the plates. Dad. A tear lands on her gray folder and blooms a pale spot. I want to meet you alone after, whispers small, but the silence is wide enough for everyone to hear. Don't let him steer you, Ethan growls. Victor points to the hall. If you need more than 3 minutes, outside. In here we eat. Kim gathers the corner receipts, counts 6. She tucks the USB into the brown envelope, seals it, notes received 1934. Tomorrow morning, as she says, Mr. Hart, Mr. Ethan Hart, Ms. Lily Dalton Hart, check your messages for time. Henry, keep your devices, don't delete. Witness Marla is logged. If someone posts bad info, use the correction letter. If it continues, send it to me. She nods to Victor, nods to me, and steps out. The door closes. The wind is cut. The room returns to roast and a steady vent whisper. Victor straightens, lets out a breath, and sets the spoon down. Not to clang, but like a final stamp on procedure. From here, he says, we eat. Afterward, a few of us stay. You, he looks at Ethan. You stay. We talk like adults. Ethan sits like a man who's lost footing on ice. Lily dabs at her eyes. She doesn't look up. Paula slides the bowl of mash toward Victor without a word. Raymond picks up a stray Pilot G2, rolls it in his fingers once, and places it back square. I pull out my chair and sit, palms on the signed gray stock, feeling the slight tooth under skin. I don't feel triumphant. I feel the room settling back into normal, cutlery grazing ceramic, breathing even, the wicker basket a quiet icon of a rule just installed. Phones keep buzzing in the basket now and then, a distant audience waiting for a show. Not tonight. The stage is this table, 2 fathers and thin paper. As the main course arrives, Victor brushes my shoulder. Thanks, he says, small. I almost lost it. The paper helped. Me too, I say. Paper saves us from words. We get through the meal, unnatural but necessary. Dessert comes. Date. Kim's text pings the work phone in the basket. Screen glows. Nobody picks it up. Morning time sent. Victor nods, leaves it there. When the last plate clears, Victor says, guests may head out. Family stays. Paula and Raymond rise first, offer me a calm nod. They pass Ethan without the usual hand on the shoulder. I pocket the timer in the spare folder. Lily circles to the head, stops in front of me, tries a smile. Dad, she rasps, I, I choose to hear the facts. What are your conditions to fix this? Ethan turns away, jaw set. Victor stands straight, doesn't step in. I look at my daughter and nod slowly. After, I say, tomorrow. I won't mix terms into confrontation. Tonight is exactly enough. Victor lifts the basket and places phones along the rim. Grab yours if you're leaving, he says. And remember, if you post, match the page you sign. If you're wrong, 24, no, 48 hours to fix it. I zip my coat. At the door, Ethan blocks half the way, like he might speak and thinks better of it. Victor's hand lands on his son's shoulder. Not hard, not soft. Sit, he says. We talk like adults. Through the glass, snow falls thin, each flake catching the porch light into short glints. I give Victor another nod. He returns one, anger gone to honest fatigue. Morning, he says. On time. I'll be there, I say. The door closes behind me. In my pocket, the gray stock whispers, a small confirm that tonight no one won by volume. Procedure did by being present on time. I step down into clean cold and breathe. The house behind that door goes quiet, reserving itself for a hard talk between two fathers. I keep walking, knowing that in the morning, just like the detective promised, everything moves into the record, and from there, into conditions. Morning is paper quiet. On the oak table, the brown binder lies open, the letter of conditions on top, a yellow post-it clipped to it. 48AH. My phone hums. Lily's text from late last night, now read properly. I choose to hear the facts. What are your terms to fix this? I pour a black coffee, click on the desk lamp, pull a Pilot G2 close. The printer coughs once, then swallows paper slow. Pages spool out. Clean headers, numbered items. I read them aloud once, like training breath for a recital. 1. Public correction, 48 hours. A joint post by Lily and Ethan, 120, 150 words, retracting confused Shosh guardianship, affirming respect for the investigation, no text speculation, photo of the signed page attached. 2. No ask for money, 6 months. No financial request from me for any reason, all legal fees paid by themselves. 3. Legal responsibility. Ethan signs a temporary no contact with me until the case closes. All communication goes through counsel. 4. Lily's repair path. A. 8 father-daughter counseling sessions within 60 days. B. 1 appearance with Victor at the block meeting on civic conduct online. C. A symbolic 100-month repayment for 12 months, not for cash, for discipline. I initial the prepared by line and email a photo to Alan. Rain dims the room. Family texts trickle in. Don't make it a big deal. Elders should let things slide. I mute the phone, snap the binder shut, clamp the clip. 10 minutes later, Alan replies, Okay, I've tuned the language. Final has signature lines and a witness line. After the precinct, come to Victor's. At the station, reception checks my ID like always. Plastic chairs scrape dry across tile. Date. Kim brings me into a small room, starts the recorder, voice even. Mr. Henry Dalton, acknowledging receipt of last night's USB and packet. Today, you'll restate what you submitted. No commentary beyond scope. I read. Only time marks, file names, the club's received note, nothing added. Across the hall, Ethan passes. His eyes harden for a beat. His hand fists then opens when he sees Victor at the corridor's end. Lily arrives after, bows a small hello to Kim. She signs her part. Voice trembles enough to sound true, but the signature is steady. No social posts, Kim reminds, except the prepared correction. I don't advise your family life. I mark the timeline. DA update within 30 days. Anyone breaking conditions owns the consequence. We receive our receipt copies, fold, file. Victor waits at the door, hands on his hips. My place, he nods. Study, door shut. Victor's study smells of lemon oil and old cloth spines. The pendulum clock goes tick, tick. Just four of us, me, Victor, Lily, Ethan. Victor sets a timer on the desk, not for duration, but like a metronome for decency. If you cut in, he says, step outside 5 minutes, then come back. I place the letter of conditions in the center. I'll read each term, you initial each page, I say. No tears today, just letters. Term 1, public correction, 48 hours. Lily nods immediately. I'll do it. Ethan grimaces. We'll post, but let me rewrite. I've drafted the template, I cut in, sliding over right to correct. 14 sentences, about 140 words, no tech glitches, no hedging. Victor adds, both sign. Post the photo of the page. Don't turn off comments. Ethan clicks his tongue. So we just confess? You retract wording, I say. The rest is for investigators. Term 2, no ask for money, 6 months. Ethan fires, you're abandoning your daughter. No, I say. I'm saving all of us from the pit called shame. 6 months, you're quiet. After that, if there's a need, Lily speaks to me directly. Civilly, not behind the shield of family. Lily swallows. I agree. I'll manage. Term 3, legal responsibility, temporary, no contact. I place the draft in front of Ethan. Last night you tried to steer it back to guardianship. I say even. From now until the file closes, no direct contact with me. Everything through counsel. Ethan scrapes his chair. What about talking to my wife? You're Lily's husband, Victor says, but last night you abused the floor in my dining room. Now you hear the rules. Ethan looks at his father, brow knotted. After a long beat, he signs the corner. Jagged strokes. Victor signs, witness beside it, pen steady. Term 4, Lily's repair path. I read slowly, clearly. 8 counseling sessions in 60 days. 1 block meeting appearance with Victor on civic conduct online. And $100 on the 15th of each month for 12 months. Sent to me not because I need it, but so you remember. From now on, money has conditions. Lily exhales, eyes wet without spilling. I'll go to all 8. I'll transfer on the 15th. $100 does what exactly? Ethan mutters. It buys discipline, I say. And for you, I tap the no contact. It buys silence. Victor gathers the 4 pages, staples them, hands them to his 2 children. Sign. No scold in it, just a man keeping the room. Lily signs first. Her hand still shakes. The letters don't. Ethan signs after, staring into middle distance. When the pen lifts, Victor plants his palm on the paper for 1 beat. Terms set, live by them. I sign received and fix a green receive sticker to the binder. It sounds like a file closing. By late afternoon, Lily's kitchen throws white light. She sits at her computer, reading the correction aloud. Just enough voice to make it real, just enough cadence to make it law. We, Lily Dalton Hart and Ethan Hart, retract wording that misled our community about Mr. Henry Dalton. We respect the ongoing investigation, will not speculate, will not live stream, and will not attach guardianship without basis. We apologize to those pulled into this. Any updates, if any, will follow official guidance. Post, Victor says. Attach the signed page. Ethan hesitates. Let me change apologize to regret. 48 hours promised, Victor reminds. Use the template. The post goes up. Published, blinks. At first, a scatter of shock and angry emojis, a few owning up is good, some tut-tuts. Lily screenshots, sends it to me. I file it simply. Write to correct, posted. Alan replies, compliant. Her DMs flood. Why apologize? Don't let yourself be bullied. Lily doesn't argue. She drops the link. Ethan grips his phone. I'm losing all face. Real face, Victor answers, is rebuilt with decent acts, not a crying clip. At home, Alan's received chime lands. I print a copy, clip it into the binder. The G2 rasps lightly across the received. 30 days later, clean frames. Email from Det. Kim. File sent to DA. Updates when charging decisions made. Lily may be called RE, correction post in sequence. I reply, received. Lily sends the first $100 receipt, note line for discipline. I answer, received. No sermon. An anonymous account tries to reignite. He's been confused for ages. The neighborhood thread drops the correction link and writes, settled. Respect the investigation. I don't lift a finger. A debt letter lands for Ethan. He stands on the porch in the cold, staring at the envelope but not opening it. Victor passes by. No commentary. No contact still in force. Anything between Ethan and me goes through counsel. Silence becomes his hardest class. Victor and I meet at Tim Hortons. Two blacks. Thanks for keeping the room, I say. Thanks for bringing paper, he says. Two men. No talk of lipstick or the small bottle. Just last night's dusting of snow and next week's game. Enough. Marla receives a thank you envelope, handwritten card and a small gift card. She texts back, I still only say what I saw. I answer, that's enough to save a room from lies. Lily steps out of session 1, sends a line. I'll do all 8. I reply with a single, okay. Conditions aren't a video call. They're a clean line you can touch. Evening. I sit at the table and close the binder. On top, letter of conditions, received in blue ink. Beside it, the chipped flute, washed and turned upside down, like a small cap over an old fissure. I run a finger along the nick, not to remember humiliation, but to remember boundary. I don't feel victory. I feel a new order. Every claim tethered to a time mark, every promise to a deadline, every love to a condition so no one gets pulled back to the old place. Forgiveness, yes. Forgetting, no. Phone buzzes. Kim. DA has the file. Lily will be scheduled. Thank you for staying in protocol. Then Lily. Just finished session 1. I'll update weekly. I cut the lamp. Outside thin rain, streetlights smearing amber. I slide the binder into its usual slot, the chipped glass upside down on top. The story closes not with a slam or a sob, but the small click of a metal clip seating just right. From now on, if anyone wants to reopen it, they'll do it with paper, and by its proper name, conditions. If you enjoyed the story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts about it in the comments. To hear the next story, click the box on the left.